Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? Well, today's lecture is based on paper 2, which is reading paper. And you know that in this reading paper, we have two comprehensions. First comprehension is reading for ideas, where a descriptive passage is given. And after reading that descriptive passage, you are going to write content points for 12 marks and then summary for 10 marks. And at the end, you are going to find 3 opinions for 3 marks. Before going and discussing the passage, I would like you to read this part of the paper. This is the first question statement, section 1, reading for ideas. Here the passage name is theater, and you have to answer all the questions. Question 1, part A, notes forming. Here you have to identify and write down the information from the passage which describes the stages in the development of theatre. So as you know that this content point section has two halves. In first half you are going to write the stages in the development of theatre, and in the second half you are going to write the reason for its continuing popularity in the present day. Okay, look at this, which is written in capital. Use material from the whole passage. This is a very important instruction given because sometimes examiner restrict us to certain paragraphs for finding the content points. But here we have to read the whole passage. So before reading the passage, it is compulsory and it's always feasible to read this part of the question so that we can see that where do we have to focus on. So we have seen that we have to look at the whole passage for finding content points, and for the content points we have to find 6 points, 6 content points for the stages and the development of theatre, and another 6-point reason for its continuing popularity in the present day. So let's go have a look on the. Now this is our passage, theatre. Now, reading the whole passage will not be possible, so I'll be just summarizing. Now, paragraph 1, paragraph number 2, and paragraph number 3. They talk about the stages in the development. The first idea which is given here is that the first people who started with theatre, they were Greece, and they were the people who actually narrated myths and legends in the form of a chorus. You know that they sang it. And afterwards they started with 1 character play and then 2 to 3 character plays. But here the problem was that the character had to wear a mask. Afterwards we find that Greeks, these plays, they were actually in the honor of their gods. But later on, comedy was also introduced. Another important feature which was introduced in this was satire, or cruel satire of the contemporary society. This is a term which we need to understand. Satire is actually a taunt on the society, something which is wrong going on in the society that is mocked on by the people. You must have watched many programs on television where they taunt either some political personality or some policy. So that was satire. So initially there was chorus, then 1 actor drama, then 2 to 3 actor dramas, then comedy, and then satire. Second paragraph talks about Roman time. In Roman times, what was the condition? That there was actually a contest between some gladiator and animal. So this was in the theatre, so quite different from Greek theatre. Then there were purpose-built arenas where this performance was shown and people would gather there and then they would definitely watch it. Paragraph number 3 talks about other regions of Europe. And here they tell us that initially in Europe there were theatres where they were moving from town to town. There were acrobats, animals, and then they were showcasing whatever they were representing. After that, they established permanent buildings for theatre, and this is how they started with, in 6th century in London, they started with the theatre, and where out of each 8 people, 1 person was going to theatre. Okay, then they have talked about no theater. So paragraph number 1, 2, and 3, they talk about stages in the development of theater. And you have read this. Once you have read it, you have underlined the point, then you are going to very carefully decide that uh, which are the solid points which can be given here. So choose the best one so that you can get all 6 marks here. Now, paragraph number 4 and 6, they talk about the still popularity, why stages are, why theater are still popular, why they are still popular, because they are performed live on the stage. So it's always nice and it's always thrilling to watch somebody performing in front of us. Another reason is that it's actually a great form of relaxation for others. Then you see that sometimes we find that the story which is being presented on the theater resembles are some part of our life or someone else's part, so we can get a solution as well. Then it is actually an experience where we can have catharsis. What is catharsis? Catharsis is actually that cleansing of emotional experience. It's cleansing of our emotions. It is done by watching the dramas on stage. And it is a good family get together on holidays. Mostly families plan to go to watch some theater, and the new advances, technological advances, they are also making stage quite popular. So they have talked about Mousetrap. It's the longest running play in the world. This is quite thrilling because many people feel that they are the part of this game. So you have seen that ideally the first 3 paragraphs they talk about the stages and the development, and remaining 2 paragraphs they talk about the reason why they are still famous. So once you have read it, you will underline the points, and after underlining them very carefully, you are going to write them like this. Now this is a place where you are going to write. For saving space, I have given less lines, otherwise more lines are given. Bullet points are there. One example content point is given, this will not be included. You are going to come up with your own content points. Here you can lift the points from your passage as it is, but make sure that the lifted line is complete and conveys a full sense. So first half, stages in the development of theatre. 6 content points will be written here. Second part, reason for the continuing popularity of theatre in the present day. Again, 6 content points are going to be given. The given point is not included, as you know. So this is for 12 marks. And after going through the uh, passage, you can easily find these content points. So once you have done content points, you have read whole passage, you have the idea of whole passage in your mind, it's in your mind. Second part of question 1 is summary writing. Now whatever notes you have now made in part 1, you are going to write a summary for this. But now here the summary is going to be in your own words as far as possible. You are not going to copy things here. In first question you were allowed to copy things, but here you are not. Okay, so it has to be relevant and well organized, coherent as well. Now, when you are going to write the summary, the 10 beginning words are given. You are going to follow these 10 words to write the summary. But you see that for summary, this summary, all the criteria for good language is implemented. Here you are going to write the things in your own words. And for your help and for your support, like I have given a list of the connectives, definitely, which will help you to add these points. So you can have the conjunctions which are helpful for adding the things sequence, like you can use first, third, finally, next, meanwhile. Illustration, when you are giving some example, cause and effect things are there, emphasizing conjunctions are there, contrasting, when you want to give a comparison, that any good conjunction can be taken from here, qualifying, and then comparing conjunctions are there. So make sure that when you are writing a summary, it is a good whole, it has good standard language. And for your better understanding, I have given the criteria how the marks are given. Okay, last part of the question is from paragraph number 4. You have to write 3 opinion from this paragraph. So for opinion, we have already discussed in my previous lecture that where there ever some phrase like I think, it's writer's idea, it was believed, or it was thought, it was a tradition, such things they show opinion. Or in case where there is some stronger adjective like the best idea, the nicest place, such things are always an opinion statement. Or another statement where you can see that the personal idea of writer is more dominant and you cannot prove it, that is an opinion. So be very careful in finding the opinion. Whatever opinion sentence you find from paragraph number 4, please copy it as it is. So this is how we have done this comprehension. It's quite simple. The first part is content writing. Question number 1, second part is summary writing, and question number 2 is only finding 3 opinion. Now I'll discuss that how you will get marks in summary. Summary writing task fulfillment, it has 10 marks. Okay, discussing all band will not be possible. This is how bands are given. And band 5 means that you are eligible to get 9 to 10 marks. And band 1 means that your whatever work you have done, that can secure you only 1 to 2 marks. And there is band 0 as well. Band 0 means that no marks will be given. There are more bands in between, 4, 3, 2. I have just chosen these 3. Now band 5, which will help you to get 9 to 10 marks. It is the one work which is showing excellent understanding of the task demonstrated in an impressive response. Impressive response means that your language is really good, up to the mark, and you have covered all the content points. All content included is relevant. You haven't added anything which is unnecessary, and there is no repetition of the thing. Please repeat, please follow this thing that repetition is always something very negative. If you are repeating your idea, if you are repeating some information, if you are repeating some word, that is not a good thing at all. Your whole summary is fluent and coherent. Coherent means that it seems one whole, and that can be done by adding linking devices. The one I have just shown you in my previous slide. Presentation of the points including possible synthesizing where appropriate and wide range of appropriate stylish linking devices, this we have discussed. So such work will help you to secure 9 to 10 marks. Okay, band 1 is the one one where you can get only 1 to 2 marks. It has very little understanding of the task. Your work shows that you haven't understood anything, because some of the students, they somehow copy the content points and they can get marks there, but they have a great chance of losing marks in writing summary, because most of the time their summary is incoherent, and that shows that they haven't understood the paragraph. Your content is of little relevance, very noticeable unnecessary detail, a lot of repetitions are there, and there is a little attempt to present the point with no concept of linking devices. The way that many students, they simply put the sentences together and then they make a summary. It's not only the filling of space, it's actually doing it nicely. Now band 0. Band 0 is the one where you can get 0 marks. Here the work will be showing no understanding of the task demonstrated in. You don't have any idea at all. A totally irrelevant response. I mean, the work does not show that you have understood anything, and insufficient material is given here. So the purpose of giving you this band concept is to show you or to reinforce the idea that it's always your language which is going to help you to get good marks, and the only way to improve this is to read books. As you can read books, that is quite helpful. So with this, I'm ending my lecture. Stay safe and blessed. Allah Hafiz.